Viewers, religion is a very sensitive issue in India. Anyone found slandering the deities or gods of someone's faith must be condemned unequivocally. In cases where the provocation violates the law of the land, the transgressors must be punished. However, viewers, the punishment must be handed out by the courts, by the machinery of the state. Sadly, in Bengaluru last night, a large mob gathered in at least 3 pockets of the city after the relative of a Congress MLA passed denigrating remarks against Prophet Muhammad to seek a degree of vengeance. CCTV footage accessed by Times Now, and you can see that on your screens, viewers. That is the CCTV footage shows that the mob was carefully assembled by certain groups. In fact, in some of those images, money is being paid to individuals to come, assemble, carry out organized violence. The mob burnt down a police station. It attacked law enforcement officials as the local MLA had sought refuge from these armed mobs, and the mob outside his home wanted the police to hand him over to them to be dealt with. Others set fire to public property, and in clashes between the police and the mob, several were injured, several policemen were injured, almost up to 60 police personnel were injured, including senior members of the police force at the commissioner level. 3 people also died. The police say they're yet to ascertain the cause of death. Unfortunately, viewers, there are many, and this is the problematic part, there are many among a certain so-called secular leftist persuasion in the state and outside that have blamed the violence on the police. The police has been singled out for manhandling the protesters, for not being able to manage the situation. Now, viewers, anyone objectively looking at the situation will have realized that blockades were systematically erected to prevent the police from reaching, till matters had escalated, spiraled out of control. This, quite frankly, this attempt to deflect is akin to allowing political compulsion to prevail over due process and procedure. The mob has been given a long rope. This will set a very undesirable and dangerous precedent, opening the doors for vigilantism. It also reeks of selectivity. The same left secular lobby condemned Hindu groups who protested violently when rationalists insulted deities like Ram and Krishna in the state. They said that the rationalists were only expressing their views and they had a right to free speech under the law, which must be upheld. What explains this case of double standards? What justifies the attempt to rationalize rioting? We'll come to those questions, but I just want you first very carefully listen, viewers, to certain reactions that have been coming in. Now, first things first, the state government. Listen in to what the state government believes has happened. And they have pointed to the SDPI, which is the political arm for NIA-designated radical group, the PFI. Listen to this, viewers.
आई थिंक प्लान करके दंगा कर दिया है। ट्विटर में, फेसबुक में एक पोस्ट आने के बाद 1 घंटे के अंदर हजारों लोग इकट्ठे हुई और फायर लगा दिए। आग लगा के बाद 200-300 व्हीकल डैमेज कर दिए। एमएलए घर भी डैमेज कर दिया है। इनके पीछे एसडीपीआई है। एसडीपीआई है, उन्हें प्रोवोकेट करके पेट्रोल बम लेकर के उधर दंगा करने के आया है।
This violence is a planned violence. SDPI and Popular Front of India is responsible for this, and Muzaffil Pasha is the real culprit. He is arrested now. Government should take serious action against him.
Sir, any plan of state government mulling on banning SDPI, sir?
See, we are getting see, there is a process for it, and we are already, the process is on, looking into the cases, different cases and histories. We are going to take one of the major hurdle is that Congress government had withdrawn the cases. We have to now consider taking up those cases also to account, so that we can put a proposal to ban to Government of India.
Now, viewers, the BJP and the state government are suggesting that there are two individuals, Muzammil Pasha of the SDPI and Ayaz Pasha of the SDPI. Both are being accused. So wrong graphic firing on air. Let's put that out. Both are being accused, viewers, of inciting, instigating the mob at the police station. We are talking about two individuals here, Muzammil Pasha and Ayaz Pasha of the SDPI. Both have been accused of leading these mobs and orchestrating the violence. Now, viewers, let's listen in to how the SDPI, the Congress, have come out and responded to the charges that have been made. Now, remember, viewers, there is some sort of a tacit understanding in the past between the SDPI and the Congress and others. It's a Congress MLA whose relative put out this very objectionable, inflammatory tweet against, or Facebook post really, against the Prophet. That individual, the nephew, has been taken into custody. But despite that, the Congress and the SDPI and others have tried to subtly distance the mob from the violence and blame the police. Listen to this.
ACP was there, DCP was there, and a lot of other officials were there. How can he mobilize sitting with the police
The
department?
motive is what important. The motive is what important here. They say the motive was different. The motive was different.
This is a political motive what we have. BJP and Congress, they are trying to, fight with each other. We are the scapegoat for them.
You were leading the mob. You were trying to
We
file
were
a
not
complaint.
leading the mob. I would like to correct that once again. We didn't lead the mob. We were there to give a complaint.
सारे घटनाओं का जिम्मेदारी पुलिस और इंटेलिजेंस का फेल्यूर है। ये सारे चीजों को लोगों के माइंड से डाइवर्ट करने का एक साजिश है। ये एक बीजेपी का हर हमेशा इस तरह का चाल है ये।
Was it deliberate on the part of the government to see administration to see that something will happen, or they were intentionally waiting for something to happen there so that they can divert the attention from their failures in coronavirus?
Now, here are some facts, viewers, some facts that have come to light on the back of CCTV footage. The CCTV footage shows a man handing out money to alleged rioters. That is the transaction. You can see it very clearly. Now let's look at the next issues. Did SDPI incite the mob? Now what do we know? SDPI's Muzammil's insightful speech at the police station was very clearly heard. Next. Muzammil allegedly mobilized the mob at the police station. There are many witnesses that will testify to this. They said, come to the police station, let's make a solid protest seeking the arrest of the Congress MLA, his nephew, and others who they believe were part of an attempt to malign the Prophet's image. Muzammil also allegedly joined the mob at the Congress MLA's home. So not just the police station, but also at the Congress MLA's home, where the property has been vandalized because they wanted to get hold of the MLA and extol revenge, exact revenge upon him. Other SDPI leaders allegedly incited pelting and arson. Again, plenty of witnesses are testifying to this. So this is where things stand, viewers. But subtly, the entire blame is being deflected. Let's open this out. Let's open this out because an attempt to try and rationalize the anger which resulted in the violence is dangerous. But let me first begin with Tejasvi Surya, Member of Parliament of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Surya, many people are accusing you, you've heard the Congress, you've heard the SDPI saying that this is your playbook. You've done it in Delhi, you've done it in Uttar Pradesh. You incite people, you first get posts that are inflammatory in nature, objectionable against a particular faith, and then you incite violence, you create a situation to divert from the larger issues. How do you respond to this charge, sir?
Not the BJP's playbook, but this is the classic jihadi playbook. And this is not something that has started in the last 10 years or the 15 years. This has started from the last few thousand years. So since the time the idea of jihad was institutionalized, this is the classic playbook. So this is not something surprising. What is surprising, however, is how in such a short period of time, such a large group of people, more than 500 to 600 people could gather in the place, muster the support of so many people, bring petrol bombs, organize a complete arson, indulge in riots, and ensure that the police and make sure that an entire police station was burnt. So this is something that is surprising, and not the fact that this is played out just by the textbook. If you look at the history of riots in India, every single riot has started on the pretext of some or the other quote-unquote offensive instance. And the offensive instance can be as simple as a Facebook post or a tweet or anything, or even a dialogue in a movie, or even a cartoon in some instances.
Okay.
So using that as a justification, the Congress party, as well as the cohort of Islamists that they support, try to make the perpetrators as victims and portray the victims as perpetrators. This is classic old school secularism playbook at play.
Abdul Rahim Patel, leader of the SDPI, also is with us. Mr. Patel, do you believe that your cadre should have been present trying to protest outside the police station and outside the MLA's home? If you had a problem with what was tweeted, no, listen to me first, Mr. Patel.
Paid riot, mobilized.
Listen to me. Your people. 1 second, Mr. Patel. Please listen to me. Listen to my question.
So
What is Muzammil? What is Mr. Muzammil doing outside the police station, and why was he there? Why was he outside the MLA's home?
People are blaming police. So from your sentence remarks only, it has been clearly mentioned that it is understood.
Why were you
that
outside in large numbers, outside the police station, outside the MLA's home? Were you not? And there is enough. And I don't want to play out the footage and the slogans. You wanted that MLA to be handed over to you.
Footage will be investigated.
Why? Don't you have faith in the police?
Footage will be investigated. And,
do you have faith in the police? Yes or no?
Clearly, you are not.
Do you
putting
have
up
faith in the
Muzammil
state? Yes or no?
Video, which he has been used mobile police mic, and he has given 1 minute speech on the police mic from inside
Abdul
the police
Rahim
station,
Patel, why were individuals gathered outside these two areas?
Rights. You are not.
You would have listen to me. Allow me.
On other things.
Mr. Patel, allow me to step in here, please. Don't railroad me. It's not fair. I'm only asking a basic question. Don't make me shout. Please allow me. Give me my 30 seconds to ask you the question and respond.
Okay.
Respond. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the question is, sir, what business did you have in a law-abiding country to go out in large numbers, picket the police station, picket the MLA's home? All you needed to do, sir, was one individual should have gone to the police station, filed an FIR, and the police would have acted by arresting this transgressor. Why did you can see those pictures there.
It was not a comment on an individual. If it is on an individual, that individual person would have gone to the police station, would have given the comment. But it is that blasphemous remark was on Prophet Muhammad and on the Islam, So it was an community, it was on the blasphemy act on the whole community. And not
So the
only
community
Muslim
turns
Pasha,
up.
there were many organization
So that
leaders,
community turns
other Muslim intellectuals,
would you,
Maulanas,
in another
and
situation,
local
sir,
people who had been
in another
gone at 7
situation,
PM
would
at
you,
the police
in
station
another
to
situation,
file
would you,
and
one minute,
in a
let me
democratic,
go back in
peaceful way.
time. Let me go back in time. During the Gujarat riots, sir, and I hate to bring up this chapter, during the Sikh riots, large mobs gathered outside certain spots, the homes of certain leaders, to allegedly riot, and that was condemned, wasn't it? 1 minute, allow me. You don't allow me. I'm only trying to, sir, expose the false equivalence that you are drawing today. This is very dangerous, sir. Very dangerous. Nonetheless, you're saying that because it was against the community has a right to take to the streets and protest. Okay.
No, I told
okay,
you
fair enough.
democratically they have
Let me bring in Tejasvi Surya and Dr. Anand Ranganathan on this point. First, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I want to come out to you.
Tactics of the ASCP and the respective police inspector, they were just buying the time, and they were
not buying the time, sir. Don't make allegations. They were blocked from reaching there. We have footage. Our own reporters were there, sir. They will tell you that roads were blocked, access was blocked. The police was not allowed to come there. They had to force their way through. It took time. First of all, you shouldn't have been gathering in those numbers. Nonetheless, 1 minute. Mr. Patel, you might say why, because you might think that laws don't apply to the SDPI, but that's a different issue. 1 minute. I want to bring in Tejasvi Surya on the political point. Tejasvi Surya, yes, very quickly respond to Mr. Patel.
Rahul, SDPI is an out-and-out Islamic terrorist organization. What they did yesterday is nothing short of terrorism. The police were inside of the police station, and a large group of more than 400 to 500 arsonists were out there baying for blood. There is an interception of the audio of the police conversation of the police who was stuck inside the police station talking to the DCP and higher officials outside, which is made available to the media. And the police are helpless. This is nothing but a mob dying for blood. And SDPI, this is not a first time for SDPI.
Okay.
The SDPI is the last.
Okay, well, you had the opportunity, and let me tell you, the JDS played fast and loose with the SDPI. They released members of the SDPI. The political, one second, it's the political wing of the radical NIA designated group, the PFI. No one can deny that linkage. The PFI's cadres were drawn from the banned terrorist organization SIMI. There are many. No, 1 second. Overlap. Stop shouting, Mr. Patel. Allow me. You're making me shout. I'm losing my voice. That's not fair. Wait a minute. Dr. Anand Ranganathan also joins this. Mohandas Pai is also here with us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, make your intervention. I believe you have been today barred from Twitter because you sought to point out certain facts. First of all, 1 minute, Mr. Patel. Shut him down. 1 minute. Dr. Anand Ranganathan. First, state your case. What's your case tonight?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. Let me be blunt. Naveen, the Dalit boy whose Facebook post resulted in large-scale arson and 60 policemen being injured, is a dead man walking. We have seen it all before. From Rajpal, who published Rangira Rasool, to Kamlesh Tiwari, whose death was demanded by millions of Muslims, including Congress MLAs on the floor of the UP Assembly. We know that Gustakh-e Rasool ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda. And when the decapitated heads ask, is this not intolerance? Their cries will be stifled by the poster boys of secularism. Like the journalist Shujat Bukhari, who said, when it comes to the Prophet, I am proud to be intolerant. From Jinnah, who represented Rajpal's assassin Ilmuddin, to Iqbal, who carried his coffin sobbing, to Qureshi, who offered 51 crore bounty for killing Charlie Hebdo journalist, to Asaduddin Owaisi, who exhorted the annihilation of Kamlesh Tiwari, and I quote him, वो जालिम, वो कुत्ता जो उत्तर प्रदेश में बैठकर अल्लाह की शान में गुस्ताखी किया, याद रख, तू आज जेल में है, मगर दुनिया तेरे लिए चूहे की बिल की तरह बन गई इंशाअल्लाह. तेरी गुस्ताखी ने तेरी अपनी बर्बादी को दावत दिया. अनकोट. Normally, it is snare the fundamentalists but spare the fundamentals. But Rahul, when it comes to blasphemy, even fundamentalists are spared, because as 3357 commands, those who abuse Allah and His Messenger, Allah has cursed them in this world and the hereafter and prepared for them a humiliating punishment. But this verse must be hidden. Even quoting it verbatim will get you banned from Twitter like I have been. And while you're at it, please don't tweet 98.6 that says polytheists are the worst of creatures, or 221 that says do not marry the polytheist woman unless she comes to believe in Islam, or 456 those who believe in our verses, those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire, and every time their skins are roasted through, we will replace them with other skins so they may taste the punishment. And thousands of such verses. The truth, Rahul, is, please give me 20 seconds, these are the real Islamophobes, because they fear Islam. They fear to make public the word of the holy book in its entirety, because they fear being exposed and called illiberal. Moderates populate the caverns, extremists the caves. Moderates wield the pen, extremists the gun. Moderates are the power behind the extremists who will behead poor Naveen one day.
Well, no one is going to defend Naveen, for sure, viewers. But certainly, there is a degree of selectivism here. You cannot have a situation, I referred to it at the beginning of the show, when rationalists are defended, their right to freedom of expression, Mohandas Pai is defended, and when Hindu groups get upset, they are told that they are asserting a muscular brand, that they are way out of line, and rightly so, it might be. But when you justify the reaction of one, and when you try and condemn the reaction of the other, then you set up a situation which results in a situation like this, Mohandas Pai. You can't have it both ways. I am not hearing from the liberal persuasion an unconditional condemnation of this instinct of turning to violence because certain sentiments have been hurt, individual or community. Mr. Pai. Mr. Pai.
Rahul, they can meet no justification for violence in a civilized society. I would expect all my Muslim friends and the Muslim citizens of Karnataka and Bangalore to stand up and condemn this violence. Yes, what happened by that young person is not acceptable at all. He should not abuse people of another faith or anything they hold dear. But violence is unjustified, and I want my Muslim friends to stand up and condemn it, because they must not be seen as condoning this violence, whatever be the provocation. We can't live in a civilized society where violence is condoned, violence is supported under any pretext. Is unacceptable. And as the Chief Minister and Home Minister have said, they must take the strictest action. The people who perpetrated violence and burned the police station must be sent to jail. Their property must be taken and auctioned. They must be paid to pay. And the punishment should be so severe, nobody will resort to violence again. But to me, the biggest issue is I want my Muslim friends and the Muslim community and citizens of Bangalore to stand up and condemn this, because it's unacceptable.
So let me ask.
Anybody can condone it for any reason. Nothing else is acceptable, because all of us have to stand together.
Okay.
We have to live in a society where violence is condemned, and that message has to be there all across Bangalore and Karnataka.
Tanveer Ahmed, by all means, demand the jailing of Naveen. By all means, have him prosecuted under the section of the law. No problems. But then today, also stand up and support the move to ban the SDPI.
Yes.
Mr. Tanveer Ahmed, support the move unconditionally.
Rahul, firstly, I think you're the first demand what you said about Naveen. Yes, definitely, Naveen should be behind bars and law should take its own course. And second aspect was regarding SDPI. I think the only people who have capacity to ban SDPI is the ruling government of the day.
No. Now just stop there. No, sir, just stop there. Please allow me. Stop there. 1 second. I'll tell you. No. 1 second. You see, we are not talking about just capacity. Capacity people have. But I'll tell you, the moment that ban is invoked, it will be people like you who will come out and say that this is a crackdown on a party that represents and fights for Muslim interests by a Hindu nationalist government. So I'm only asking you, will you support the move in principle to ban the SDPI? It's a simple question. You have done business with the SDPI in the past, according to a large number of sources, according to the evidence that we have had. There have been seat-sharing agreements. You have even taken their support. I'm only asking you, do you think, A, that was a mistake, and B, will you today stand steadfastly with the Chief Minister of Karnataka if he moves to ban the SDPI? Simple question. Just give me a simple answer. I'm not listening. I'm not looking out for some philosophical... One second. Philosophical response. Yes.
If you are really serious about
1 minute. I've not asked you the question. Mr. Patel, I haven't asked you the question. I haven't asked you the question. I've asked Mr. Tanveer Ahmed the question. Allow me. Allow me and allow him to answer. Yes.
Day and night, what it is doing?
I'm going to have to lower your fader. Lower his fader. Mr. Patel is not allowing this debate to go through. Wait a minute. I want to bring you in. Tanveer Ahmed, will you support a ban on the SDPI?
Not only support the ban on SDPI, I also really support a strictest action against people who had involved themselves in arson. The people who have really taken weapons in their hands.
So Tanveer Ahmed, are you today going to guarantee our viewers that you will not come out onto the streets in protest if the SDPI is banned, like certain members of the opposition did in another state of the Indian Union called Jharkhand? Simple question, yes, no. Yes, no.
Certainly no. If the government is coming with the proper evidence, if they find any
proper evidence, proper evidence, fair enough. I want to bring in Rizwan Ahmed, MLA of the Congress Party. Rizwan Ahmed, will you support? I only want consensus today against the violence, against mobocracy. That's all. If all the panelists here can agree, this debate ends. The quicker you agree, the better it is, because the law will be upheld in spirit, if not in letter. So, I want to ask you, Mr. Rizwan Arshad, MLA of the Congress, sir, will you support an unequivocal ban on the SDPI, sir?
So first, if we have to have a meaningful debate today, we should condemn the violence which happened yesterday night.
Of course, we have condemned it.
And we should also condemn the time and again efforts by miscreants to put derogatory posts.
So that was the Congress MLA, right? Why have you not taken any action against your own MLA and his family?
Do you allow me to conclude, Rahul?
Yes.
The MLA, whoever has posted it, the MLA has nothing to do with that boy politically. That boy was the supporter of the BJP. His Facebook post here, he said, I support the BJP and Mr. Modi, and he has worked for the BJP in the parliament election. It is a very clear thing. I have his Facebook post. You can go through his Facebook profile and understand whom he supports. Whatever happens.
So what, Mr. Rizwan? So what if he has voted for the BJP?
Happens.
So what if he has voted for the BJP? Does that exonerate the kind of murderous mob inciting that your co-religionist did?
There is no justification for any kind of violence. Whoever's
so let me ask you then, sir, everyone agrees that those who carried out the violence and those that provided the provocation for the violence must be dealt with under the law. No one has a problem with that. I'm asking you the next step. If you really mean what you say, will you condemn and support the ban on the SDPI? Simple question today.
I support the ban. Can I come in?
Yeah.
I support the ban on all the extremist organizations.
I'm asking you about SDPI. I'm asking you about SDPI.
Whether it is SDPI,
okay.
No, please listen to me. Whether it is the SDPI or those organizations which are supporting the BJP, whoever is the fundamentalist organizations, they all have to be banned in the interest of the country and the society.
Viewers, you have heard two members, the JDS and the Congress, supporting the ban on the SDPI. Now, there are reasons for the ban, Mr. Patel, on the SDPI. Will you today come out? Now, you were saying that the BJP is implicating you. Now it's the JDS and also the Congress that says we will support in letter and spirit any ban on the SDPI because you are extremist organizations. What will you have to say about that? Mr. Patel.
You are clearly dodging their statements. They are asking to ban on all those extremist organization, whether it is
including you. So you are an extremist organization. Will you concede this on national television tonight that the SDPI has extremist inclinations? They have one second. They have clubbed you with all the extremist organizations. How can you today say that we are not? That we are not to blame. I'm asking you, sir.
Is a very classical example of double standards by media and the police.
I'm sorry, sir. All political parties on this show are united in condemning you and your extremist. I'm sorry, and your extremist brand of politics. The JDS has come out. Rizwan Arshad. Let me ask the JDS. Tanveer Ahmed, are you part of a conspiracy to label the SDPI an extremist organization? Let me ask him. Shut him down. Let me ask him. Tanveer Ahmed, respond. Mr. Patel says you're part of a larger conspiracy. You're mixed up with the BJP to paint the SDPI in negative colors, extremist colors. Respond.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Well, I think police had really taken timely action. That blame on also police is definitely uncalled for. I think Kamal Pant acted rightly on time.
Okay. Now I want to ask you, Mr. Ahmed. Tanveer Ahmed, now I want to ask you, do you think in hindsight you made a mistake when you were playing to the minority galleries by releasing members of the SDPI when you were in power? Do you think you made a mistake? You gave them a pardon.
No, it was not us. It was Mr. Siddaramaiah, who was the chief minister then.
Look at the way they artfully dodged the bullet. Now they put the blame on the Congress. So let me ask the Congress. Fair enough. It's either the JDS or the Congress. Let me ask. Rizwan Arshad, do you regret having pardoned SDPI members allegedly accused of rioting, of communal violence when you were in power? And was that done to appease the minority community? Straight question.
No, absolutely not. This is just a political statement. Time and again, BJP and JDS, they keep on coming up with it. There are records. Now there is BJP government. Let them come out and say which.
Viewers, look at how exposed today these so-called secular parties are. When they were in power, they appeased these elements. Dr. Anand Ranganathan wants to come in. And today, when they are being called out, when they're all fighting amongst each other and exposing each other's secrets, look at them.
We don't need any support from SDPI.
Not at all.
We have given 7 chief ministers and we have ruled Karnataka for 30 years.
Gentlemen, please, it's my
shame on both the JDS and the Congress. Look at them today. Out of power, they're blaming each other for what Times Now said was going to be a big costly mistake that is going to cost the state of Karnataka somewhere down the line. And it has, viewers. It has resulted in arson. It has resulted in vandalism. It has resulted, viewers, most importantly, in a situation where people have lost their lives and policemen are today fighting for theirs in hospital. This is what happens, viewers, when you appease the extremist mob. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, look at how both the JDS and the Congress are exposing each other on this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Rahul, with your permission, can I please provide a counter view, because I fear we might be missing the woods for the trees. By all means, if SDPI indulges in terror or is a terror organization, it must be banned. But I have to ask this. Did those people who beheaded and killed Kamlesh Tiwari, were they from SDPI? Was Jinnah from a party like SDPI? Was Iqbal from SDPI? This is the thing. You see, when you have, so they would snare the fundamentalists, as all in the panel are, but they would spare the fundamental. And unless you have the fundamental, which is, and I repeat, 33:57, those who abuse Allah and His Messenger, Allah has cursed them in this world and the hereafter and prepared for them a humiliating punishment. No SDPR or anything is required. I have already quoted to you what Owaisi said. And lastly, you have Prashant Bhushan, who compared Lord Krishna to Romeo and called him a legendary Eve teaser. Is he alive or is he dead? You had Teesta Setalwar, who overlaid the image of goddess Kali with ISIS terrorist. Is she dead or is she alive? Is Kamlesh Tiwari dead? Is Rajpal dead? These are the questions we have to ask if we have to progress as a society which believes in truth.
Well, the arguments,
Rahul,
viewers...
30 seconds, please.
Rahul, this is...
Okay, let's respond. One second, Tejasvi Surya. Yes, Mr. Arshad, you want to respond?
No, you're taking... No, the gentleman is taking this argument to somewhere else, Rahul. If he really is interested in coming out with truth, let him also condemn those people who also create unrest in the society. See, you need to be... I am here, I am very open. I am against the people who commit violence. I am against the people who create this kind of disturbances.
You are not, you are scared, you are a coward.
I'm here to call a spade a spade.
Well, okay.
As far as I am concerned,
on the face of it, one second, gentlemen, 1 second. I need to move on. But on the face of it, I have to today... 1 second. I have to today at least conclude by saying that Mr. Arshad...
Rahul.
One second. Mr. Arshad, Mr. Ahmed of the Congress and the JDS, though they might be exposing each other, might have made the cardinal sin of showing mercy to the SDPI in the past to appease their vote banks. At least today I've realized that they made a mistake. That is at least a beginning, viewers. And they are unequivocally condemning the SDPI, and they have both said that the Congress and the JDS will support a ban of the SDPI. And therefore, Mr. Tejasvi Surya, no time should be lost. The SDPI must be banned in the state of Karnataka. Ban them.
No doubt about that, Rahul. Let me just take 20 seconds, Rahul. Again, to reiterate that we must address the problem at the roots, the problems that Dr. Anand Ranganathan very clearly meant, the injunctions which are inspiration for this violence. We must address that, question that as a society. 2, if today Karnataka is going on the path of radicalization, we must remember that this was pushed by Siddaramaya's government by celebrating Tipu Jayanti, by exonerating the SDPI and KFI and KFD and such Islamist
We've already said that. As far as the injunctions go and the religious edicts go, it is for... No, 1 second. It is for...
We will ensure that the gravest and strictest of punishment will be meted out to the SDPI.
Well, we will come back to you because the BJP has been talking about the SDPI and the PFI for a very long time. For at least 6 years, you have been talking about the SDPI and the PFI. Times Now has taken a lead in exposing these organizations. The NIA has a very fat dossier on them, but the center has not moved an inch to ban these organizations, viewers. A large number of their cadre have ended up fighting for ISIS and dying for ISIS. And you know the mentality that represents. So, viewers, enough of the talk. We need the action. You have a problem? Ban them. Do it. Then talk. Enough of the talking. The center needs to act. It needs to demonstrate a commitment to law and order. Ban them. Ban them, then talk. Ban them and then talk.